r/ask Reddit. What is a normal thing you should be able to do but can't? I should be able to make a simple phone call without putting it off for weeks or months while I torture myself with nerves and hate myself for just not making the call. When I was 16, my 21-year-old neighbor described adulthood to me as a long list of important phone calls you don't want to make. I thought it was silly then, but I completely understand her now. Telephones are ducking evil. Mobile phones are even worse. It's a little device that allows anyone, anywhere to ruin your peace of mind at any moment. As a 20-year-old girl, I should be able to walk in heels, but nope. Picture that scene in Bambi when he first tries to walk. That's me. As a 20-year-old girl, r/giant gorilla dong checks out. You/giant gorilla dong fixed that for you. I have trouble with right and left, especially when I'm driving and someone is giving me directions. It takes me a second or two to work it out. I think my dad might have issues with directions. He told me to turn left while driving and pointed right. I was confused and went left. He meant right. In doubt, follow the finger. I have no sense of direction. If someone else is driving, I won't know where I was, even after several trips. Even if I'm driving, it takes me a long time to learn my way around. My way to work consists of a total of 7 total turns, not counting finding parking. I had to use my GPS for a couple of weeks before I could safely get to work on my own. Tried to get into Quake 4 competitively when it first released. Was infuriating how after multiple playthroughs I'd still not be able to find anything. Unstoppable. You'd do much better if you'd grab the mega health and body armor. I don't even know where they are, dude. We've played this map like 5 times already. Direction is one of my weaknesses too. I had to do the whole GPS thing to work. Despite the fact I could almost follow one road the whole way, the few instances where I need to actually turn always caught me out. In my defense though, I grew up in a village with one street. Literally the only way to go was left or right. Traveling between villages or to the bigger towns was pretty straightforward as there was only one main road everywhere. When I moved into a city for university I couldn't navigate around it in the slightest. Same. I've lived in my hometown almost my entire life and I still don't know my way around downtown. 5 minutes away from my house. My friends are always surprised when I ask them for directions or when I have no clue where certain streets are. It also took me a year to figure out in high school that there was a third set of stairs. I kept wondering why the same stairway sometimes led me to a completely different hall. At least I can read maps better than most people. Roll my R's. I can't either, so my Spanish teacher taught me a quick trick. Put an itty bitty d between 2 R's. Perro is dog, so it becomes Pedro, but barely touch that D, and drag out that first R. Pedro works for me, mostly. Holy duckine shit ITWORKSS. Thank you stranger. Make friends. It's odd. I'm told that I'm easy to get along with. I can hold a conversation. I don't have social anxiety, and I'm someone who people recognize as a competent person. But I never really connect with anyone. I'm never the person who people actively want to be around or seek out, but I'm usually someone who people don't mind being around. I don't make anything worse, but I don't make anything better. The concept of spending your off time with someone or making plans to do this or that together is so foreign to me. You're probably creepy. I have this same problem and that is what people have told me. I feel the same way, or rather, it's extremely difficult for me to make lasting friendships. I'm not sure why, but at some time or another, everyone leaves. I've had friends that I thought would be friends for life that don't even respond to my messages. I have no clue why this happens. It's not like we ever have any huge, dramatic falling outs, or there's any specific reasons, per se. They just trail off. I try not to think about it too much, honestly, although I will say that I tend to have a different definition of connection and friendship from most people. People throw around the word friend like they do the word love. They overuse it so much that it ceases to have meaning. Friendship means more to me than that. Also, people are flaky AF. Walk or stand still without swaying around like a drunken Jack Sparrow. I'm not actually quite that bad, but my balance is way off whack. I thought for years I was actually just being useless, but at age 25, I discovered I was now eligible for a free flu vaccine due to my lifelong condition, which automatically put me in the high risk band. Confused as hell, I visited my doctor, who confirmed when I was around 2 months old, I was diagnosed with a nervous system disorder, likely linked from my 5-week early emergency birth. My parents either weren't told, or probably just forgot about it, but the doctor explained it would likely cause me coordination and balance problems. And suddenly the first 25 years of my life made so much more sense. If you don't mind me asking, which disorder is it? I honestly haven't got a clue. All I remember the doctor mentioning was the nervous system disorder part. I haven't actually been to a doctor in the last 3 years since then, so I'll have to try and find out if I actually have a more specific diagnosis. It was after I had a fit or a seizure that I was hospitalized, and that's when I was diagnosed. My mum remembers that but couldn't remember ever finding out what I was diagnosed with. She didn't even realize I had anything. I can't ride a bicycle. No one ever taught me how. And my bicycle was stolen a week after I got it when I was 6. And it was never replaced after that. 29-year-old checking in. Never learned how to ride a bike. My parents nagged me every summer of my childhood to learn. But for some reason I resisted and chose to rollerblade instead. Now I refuse to learn just because I'm amused by the reactions I get when I tell people I don't know how. Not worth it. Burp, r/no burp. It's a real thing. The gas has to be removed some way. I'd guess these non-burpers are more flatulent than others. +1. So annoying. After drinking a few beers I make a throwing up sound without actually throwing up. People who hear it think I might die. That pen flick trick that everyone else at school can do. r/pen spinning. What the hell? People get modded pens for the sole purpose of spinning them. Get out of bed in the morning. Take a shower. Do everyday chores. Function like a normal human. I lost an arm. Clearly that means I'm the main character of the action movie that it is my life. My nickname even came before losing the arm. So I should be able to get a badass robotic arm, you know, as it's the destiny of main characters that lose their arm. And yet, my shoulder and stump are paralyzed. So I can't really use a robotic prosthetic arm. Crap XD. Use your working arm to use a robo arm. Boom. Working robo arm. That's actually how my prosthetic works. It locks in place, and I can adjust it to the position I want. It's just for show though, and it can't crush human skulls, so it's not sufficient C. Go on a serious date. Like, I don't know why, but the idea of having a serious meal at a fancy restaurant kinda makes me freak out inside. I can go for coffee or for drinks and I'm fine. But for some reason I can't do serious very well, and I have no idea why. I'll tell you why. It's because they feel like interviews. Nobody wants to feel like they are being judged for everything that comes out of their mouth. Keep it casual, like you're not even trying. I still can't tie my shoes the proper way. I learned the bunny ear way and have been doing it ever since. The original way just looks weird, and when I have done it properly, I couldn't make the knot as tight. Today I learned bunny ear way equals the proper way. Is the bunny ear way where you make 2 loops and tie those together? That's the way I've always done it. Surely if both ways work, they're both the proper way. Squeezing past someone who is blocking your way without looking rude. Used to feel the same way, then quickly realized that the idiot in the way is actually a complete idiotic jackass, and haven't felt remorseful for telling them to get the duck out of the way yet. Isn't it fine if you just say sorry or excuse me while doing it? Most people don't realize they're blocking the way in the first place. Eat lobster. I'm not allergic. I just find it really disgusting to crack open the body and claws of something that looks like a monster to me. I've had the meat before separated from its body, and I was relieved to discover I didn't much care for it anyway. Too grainy and fibry a texture for my liking. Lobster is just a condiment for butter. I think someone may have cooked yours wrong. It isn't supposed to be grainy. I love lobster, but yeah, they're disgusting giant sea bugs that live off of whatever sinks to the ocean floor. They're essentially overgrown aquatic grasshoppers. Stand up to people. I'm not good at talking quick. I have to carefully word every response I give, and it takes me too much time to do in real conversation. Float. I also am a sinker. It's my legs, they plummet to the bottom every time. Blow my nose with a tissue. I need running water. What? He's all different kinds of weird. Mathematics. I suck at it. Don't think about the numbers and symbols. Think about the abstract concepts they represent. That's the key to understanding. Type on a laptop without brushing the trackpad. It just doesn't work. I end up turning the trackpad off entirely because it's so goddamn annoying when I'm typing and it decides I'm trying to move the cursor or select a different area. I mean, I never use it anyway because trackball for life. But still, other people manage to type on laptops without trackpad problems. Whistle. Yes, I've tried pursing my lips. I've tried squeezing the air through. Made more frustrating by the fact that I'm a musician, so I have to hum my ideas to people and generally make myself look stupid. Just put your lips together and come real close. Sometimes I can't believe these lyrics exist somewhere in the recesses of my brain. Raise my left brow. I can raise the people's eyebrow just fine. I can only do my left. I practiced with that one and so learned it. But my right sits there, mocking my ability to lift it by itself. And I swear to God the rest of my right side of my face is following suit. That or I had a stroke at some point. I can't raise either. Touch this. I couldn't read clocks till the age of 13. I can't swim and neither can I ride a bike. I can't seem to even understand the difference between horizontal and vertical. I always get confused. I can't tie a T, can't whistle. For the horizontal and vertical, think of it like this. Horizontal equals the horizon. Raises above, sideways land. Vertical equals vertigo. The feeling you get when being high up and down. Imagine or visualize anything. I have total aphantasia. That sounds like the worst disability ever. It's not so bad. It only affects me in minor ways. Also, I've never known anything else, so I don't know what I'm missing out on. Although I'd assume it's similar to dreaming. IDK. I honestly thought that when people said things like close your eyes and imagine X or picture a scene that it was just a figure of speech. The only aspect of it that saddens me is when it comes to my family. Like I know exactly what my mother looks like and can recognize her immediately. But I cannot recall it or describe her, and without a photo of her I would never be able to remember her properly. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.